Hello everyone and welcome to another lecture dealing with Asia and international reporting. We're going to be talking about Pakistan today, kind of the flip side of India, if you will, in terms of the conflict between the two countries. And just to look at a map, here is Pakistan, okay, capital Islamabad. And you can see the importance of Pakistan in terms of its border, long border with India, and also its relationship with Afghanistan. Now, what happened post 9/11 is that many of Al Qaeda were in Afghanistan. The American troops pushed them back into this area here, and they would go back and forth between Pakistan and Afghanistan. And the relations between Pakistan and the United States had not been good before 9/11, but decreased and got much worse after 9/11 as more Al Qaeda members moved into Pakistan. So, in terms of the history, it's one of the oldest, going back 5,000 years. The Indus Valley civilization spread over much of what is presently Pakistan. The Mughal Empire flourished in the 16th and 17th century. The British came to dominate the region in the 18th and through into the actually the mid 20th century. The separation, as we learned from the lecture on India in 1947, into Pakistan and to India was really never satisfactorily resolved. There have been three wars that were over the disputed Kashmir territory. In response to the Indian nuclear weapons testing in the 1970s, Pakistan started to conduct its own tests in mid-1998, and Pakistan now has a nuclear weapon. Some refer to it as the Islamic nuclear weapon, although it is more nationalistic than across the Islamic world. India-Pakistan relations improved somewhat in the mid-2000s, but have been rocky since the November 2008 Mumbai attacks, where Pakistani agents went into a major city, the second major city in India, and carried out attacks on a hotel in the surrounding area. It's the sixth largest country with more than 200 million people. It is 96% Muslim, primarily Sunni, 85 to 90%. Shia 10 to 15%, which is roughly the split between Sunni and Shia. Others include Christian and Hindu. In terms of the economy, there's been decades of internal political disputes and low levels of foreign investment, so that Pakistan is generally underdeveloped. It has a large English-speaking population with English language skills still prevalent outside of even outside of the urban centers. Despite some progress in recent years in security and energy, it still has a problem in terms of potential terrorism and terrorist threats. There have been electricity shortage, and there's also a problem in terms of the bureaucracy and the ability for international businesses to work in Pakistan. Agriculture accounts for 1/5 of the output and 2/5 of the employment. Textiles and apparel account for more than half of Pakistan's export earnings, but Pakistan's failure to diverse its exports has left the country vulnerable to shifts in world demand. In an effort to boost development, Pakistan and China are implementing the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor with $600 billion in investments targeted towards energy and other infrastructure projects. Pakistan believes that this will help improve its business and export possibility. In terms of politics, Ali Bhutto became president in August 1973. And a new constitution went into effect. Bhutto resigned from the presidency to become prime minister. He was later overthrown in 1977 and was hanged in 1977 by Zia ul-Haq, who led a military coup. Zia al-Haq was very close to the United States. Bhutto was not. And so there has been there have been long-standing concerns about whether the United States was involved in Ali Bhutto's overthrow. Benazir Bhutto, the daughter of Ali Bhutto, served as the first prime minister, first woman to head a government of an Islamic state. She served in 1988 to 1990 and from 1993 until 1996. She was involved in a comeback and probably would have been prime minister, but she was killed by al-Qaeda in 2007 because she had vowed to close the camps and the general havoc that al-Qaeda had been doing in Pakistan. Imran Khan has been Prime Minister of Pakistan since 2018. He was a well-known sportsman. He was captain of the Pakistan national cricket team, which won the 1992 World Cup. He stated that despite the assassination of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi, Pakistan would remain on good relations with Saudi Arabia for economic reasons. Khan has had difficulties with Trump over Iran because U.S. sanctions against Iran are affecting neighboring Pakistan, and Khan has close ties to China. The problems that continue in Pakistan are terrorism, primarily internal terrorism, but also external terrorism. Many of al-Qaeda members and leaders still exist and live in Pakistan. There's a problem with human trafficking through and with Pakistanis, and Pakistan also has a large percentage of drugs like heroin, morphine, not only from crops, but also the production of pharmaceutical drugs, and so that's been a problem in terms of Pakistan. So that's it for now. We'll see you online. Thanks very much now.